Welcome back. I'm finishing up my afternoon ride and getting ready to go home to eat dinner, so I'll try to keep this video short. In the previous video, I went over the laws of demand and supply and then put those concepts together to explain how prices are set. The laws of demand and supply tell us what consumers and businesses will do when prices change. But the reality is that there are factors other than price that can also impact demand and supply. So in part 5 of the Coronavirus and Capitalism video series, we are going to focus on changes in demand and supply that occur when prices stay the same. For a change in demand, on the graph, this is shown by a shift in the demand curve, to the right when demand increases, and to the left when demand decreases. This shows that the price of a good or service has stayed the same, yet demand has changed. We are going to go over 5 factors that can change demand. These factors can cause demand to go up or down, but to keep this video short, I'll just describe one example for each factor. First is income. If you get a pay cut or lose your job, you are going to buy fewer normal goods. The fact that the coronavirus pandemic has put millions of people out of work has significantly decreased the demand for many normal goods. For things categorized as inferior goods, a change in income can have the opposite effect. For example, someone who gets a pay cut probably buys less steak and more canned soup because it's cheaper. A second factor changing demand is consumer expectations. This means that what you think will happen in the future can change your demand now. Let's say you go to the grocery store to buy bread, and you overhear a worker say that in a few days prices are going to increase. So you decide to buy extra bread today before the price changes. In other words, your expectation about the future changed your demand today. A third factor is consumer tastes. This means that what you like changes as things go in and out of style. This can occur for many reasons. In particular, businesses try to influence consumer tastes by using advertising methods to increase demand for their goods and services. A fourth factor is the price of related goods, and this could mean either complements or substitutes. Here's what I mean. Hamburgers and fries are complement goods because they go together. So if you go out to buy a burger because you have a coupon, your demand for fries may increase because they go so well with a burger. So your demand for fries changed even though the price of fries did not. Now let's say when you go out to buy a burger, you see a restaurant with half-price pizza. It's such a good deal you decide to have pizza for dinner instead of a burger. Even though the price of the burger did not change, your demand decreased because pizza is a substitute for a burger. The fifth factor that changes demand is the number of consumers. This is simple. The more people, the more demand. As more people have become concerned about getting infected with the coronavirus, the demand for face masks has increased. So as you can see, there are many reasons why demand can change even when price stays the same. The same thing is true for supply, so let's check that out as I walk back up to my house. The supply curve moves to the right when there is an increase in supply, and it moves to the left to show a decrease in supply. There are 6 main factors that cause a change in supply despite price remaining the same. Again, to keep this short, I'll give one example of a change in supply for each factor. First, the cost of inputs can change supply. For example, if a pizzeria has to pay more for inputs, like dough, cheese, and tomatoes, it won't be able to order as many ingredients, and so it will supply fewer pizzas. Second, if a business gets better technology, it can probably speed up production and supply more. Third, and along with better technology, any factor that increases productivity can increase supply. So if workers get more training or more incentives, like higher pay, they may become more productive, causing the business to increase supply. Fourth, what a business expects to happen in the future can impact supply now. For example, if a shoe store thinks prices will be higher next week for some reason, it will reduce its supply today so it can supply more next week when prices are higher. Fifth, the number of suppliers also changes supply. When new businesses enter a market, supply will go up. And when businesses close down, supply will go down. Finally, The government can influence supply in a few different ways. An increase in the taxes a business needs to pay could reduce supply because the business would have less money to buy inputs. However, government subsidies, which are government payments, can increase supply. When the government gives money to a farmer, for example, the farmer will have more money to increase the production of corn and therefore supply more corn. And if the government creates new regulations businesses must follow, like requiring a factory to emit less pollution, because the factory needs to spend money reducing emissions, it may have less money to buy inputs, and so its supply may decrease. So just like demand, there are numerous factors that can cause supply to increase or decrease even when price stays the same. Well, I'm back home now and ready to go inside for dinner, so I'm going to bring this video to an end. I hope you have a basic understanding of the non-price factors that can cause demand and supply to change. I'm hungry, so I'll see you next time.